Alright everyone, welcome to the Crew 2 Motorsports gameplay trailer analysis video. Now I'm going to try and keep this video relatively short because the last video I did on the cinematic trailer, well, that was a 21-minute long video on a approximately 3-minute long trailer. So I'm going to try and keep this video relatively short. So let's get right into the video, and yeah, let me start the video. The trailer. Pre-alpha footage and rating still pending. So I'm going to pause right here to take a look at the Porsche 911 GT3 RS in this trailer part. You can see it's a very nice looking model. They have the GTR in the background. The tire smoke looks great. The world map just looks great. The weather actually looks pretty nice as well. Just the puddles on the road look very nice. I just hope that they'll turn down the weather effects for this game because the amount of rain that the crew has right now is pretty annoying. But anyway, moving on. So we saw the GTR for a second. Let me scroll back to show you the GTR. So there you go. It's the same exact model from the crew right now. You can kind of tell. But yeah, moving on. Here's the Porsche 911 GT3 RS up close and personal with its back end. Looks very nice and just overall really high quality. Finally glad that they're actually implementing Porsches into this game because honestly I'm kind of tired of roughs, but there's a couple of roughs that I quite enjoy, the CTR3 and so forth. So yeah, moving on.
Hi everyone, my name's James Reese,
Community developer
on the Crew 2, and today Ubisoft's Ivory Tower studio is absolutely thrilled to give you a world premiere first look at the latest installment in the Crew franchise.
Cool, dude.
There's no better place.
So I actually want to pause here real quick to show you that the water splash effects in this game look absolutely amazing, and so does the world itself. So, but let me scroll back a little bit. Can't seem to stop at the right moment. There we go. That's perfect. So as you can see, the world map looks absolutely amazing, very high quality. The water streaking across the hood of the car looks very nice. The car, I meant the boat. God damn it, I meant to say boat. But anyway, moving on to use the cars in this game.
To explore the thrill and excitement of motorsports.
I do have to say as well, in this shot of the game as well, the game looks extremely photorealistic. Not 100%, but looks very close to photorealistic. In fact, I think the graphics look a lot like Forza. Sorry to the Forza fanboys, don't get too butthurt about it, but honestly, it does look a lot like Forza, which is very nice considering that it looks like they're actually trying to compete with Forza.
Than America.
Here we have planes flying in formation. Planes models look extremely good as well. We have a driver in the cockpit. And I believe there's also other drivers sitting in the cockpits as well.
2. We offer players the challenge of dominating the road, sea.
Here's the boat. Here's another boat. I believe it's one of the power boats, and it's got very nice water splash effects in the back.
And sky.
And by the way, scrolling back, you saw for a second
road,
there.
Sea and sky.
That's actually a Martini livery right there, based on kind of the Martini livery. There you go. That's a perfect view of the Martini livery. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's actually called the Martini livery.
Sky of a fully realized open world USA.
The ocean looks amazing, so do the waves.
Welcome to the city that never sleeps.
Let me actually scroll back here real quick because this is a pretty important part of the trailer. Here's actually a bunch of cars that they've recycled from the last version of the Crew. Here we see the Maserati MC12 Corsa, which is a circuit spec version of the Maserati MC12. The Mercedes C63 AMG. Circuit spec, which is to the far right of the screen. People's right, not like. I think you guys get the point. There's also the Maserati Gran Turismo S circuit spec in the background as well, and then the AMG GT, the Saleen S7 as well. And actually, there's the McLaren 12C as well. And that's pretty much all of them. The boats, the plane, and here we have. I'm going to pause right here to show you the McLaren 12C circuit spec up close and personal, and we also see the Pagani Zonda R making a return on this game as a circuit spec, which is great to see that they're bringing that back, especially from the Crew. And we also have the Ford GT leading the pack in front of the Maserati Gran Turismo, and then the Zonda. It's great to see that they're bringing back old circuit spec cars from the Crew.
It's not just.
And we already saw this scene.
It's a playground for the best pilots and drivers of today and tomorrow.
This, I'm going to pause here real quick to show you that this is actually Detroit. As far as I can tell, I'm not 100% sure on that, but this looks like Detroit to me.
Welcome to Motor Nation.
Pausing here, we're taking a look at the Porsche 911 GT3 doing a skid, and of course, I'm actually going to mute the audio real quick, and I'm going to reduce the speed to half the speed to show you something rather interesting with this scene. Because I'm going to pause it right at the precise moment that I see this, and as you can see in this part of the screenshot here to the Camaro ZL1, you see that the Camaro ZL1 doesn't actually have its headlights on right now. But in the next shot, it's got its headlights on, which is great to see that they have that, and someone's messaging me on Discord. My apologies. Should have probably closed Discord, but whatever. So yeah, the Camaro ZL1 had the lights off in one of the frames, and then they turned on in the next frame, which that's kind of making me wonder if they're going to actually have the option for you to turn your lights on and off with this version of the game.
There's a contest happening right
There's a
now
Porsche 911 GT3 RS's brakes,
It's being
the car.
commented by Live, MotorNation's #1 sponsor.
Now I'm actually going to pause real quick and tell you this right off the bat. This part of the map that the Porsche 911 GT3 RS is actually driving on, this part of the map is actually closed off in the crew. You can't drive here no matter what, but they've actually opened it up in the crew too, which is nice to see that they've taken the map, basically revamped it, opened it up some more for the players to enjoy the game just a lot more. And from the looks of it, this area will actually be, you'll be able to drive this area in free roam as well. Now looking at the HUD real quick, you'll actually see that they have a very, very nice simplistic speedometer as well as a GPS screen. It's much less intrusive than the last HUD of the game, because before they had these big speedometer, this big map to the left and right, and it just didn't really look too good. But now it looks a lot better and a lot more simplistic and just cleaner. And then of course the nitrous bar is sitting right to the far right as a separate type kind of dial
Where your story begins.
for the car.
Your goal to become the
Now you saw there for a second, they actually have redone the checkpoint system. So pods right here, as you can see, they're physical checkpoint objects, but right now, as I saw in another gameplay trailer, you can actually go way past the inside of these checkpoints and it will still count as you going through the checkpoints. So hopefully the developers will actually work to make these checkpoints just physical objects, and just you have to go in between these columns in order for it to count for as you going through the checkpoint.
the greatest champion of all motorsports.
Now, I'm going to pause right here to show you that we have the Audi TT RS in the game, which you'll see that quite a few times. And of course, I'll pause again because that part of the thing was blocking it. And as you can see, there it is right there. Let me scroll back a little bit. There it is, the Audi TT RS, and of course it's backfiring. Goes to show that the cars will now have official backfires on them. That'll work all the time, not just after you use the nitrous. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the nitrous flame effect is completely different from the last version of the game. They look a lot better, not just blue flames.
And one of the many disciplines of the Crew 2. But this time we're shifting from underground street racing to bring you a more accessible...
Now let me actually scroll back here and show you again real quick. This is a pretty important part that'll show you that this game will probably have multiple different assist options for the cars. Listen closely, and I'll be quiet and listen closely when the Porsche 911 GT3 RS brakes.
But this time we're shifting from underground street racing to bring you a more accessible...
So as you saw there, there was a screeching sound from the tires, like the tires were losing grip or locking up. This probably basically shows that the game's going to have the option for you to probably switch between different assists, because considering that sounds like the car doesn't have ABS on, which being able to turn certain assists on and off, having the ability to turn ABS off, traction control off, just manually and not just have 3 different assist options like full assist, sport, hardcore, etc. Having the option to switch between multiple different assist options would just be perfect for this game, in my opinion.
Festive and competitive take on the genre.
And of course, the interior view of the Porsche 911 GT3 RS looks very, very nice, very just pretty realistic. And of course, the car is not fully working. Certain parts of the cars are not working right now. As you can see, the mirrors still don't quite work, but I'm pretty sure that was the #1 priority for the developers to get working. Of course, the paddle shifter animations are not working as well. The shifting animations, I mean, they're not working as well. But the game is still in early access right now, so the developers are still working on making the game work, and then they're going to focus on all the other little details like the mirrors working, paddle shifter animations working, etc.
Speaking of which, this race is about to get a little spiced up. How would you like to take this party to the rooftops?
And yes, you can go rooftop racing. By the way, let me actually scroll back really quick to show you one thing I noticed with this game. pretty much all the vehicles now, including the cars, will have fully rendered interiors. That's a problem that the crew has right now. With if you look at another player's car, you'll actually see that their windows are tinted, and if you actually go into the interior, you'll see it's a super low quality interior basically, and there's no driver in there, so that's partially the reason why they put the blacked out windows on there, just to kind of hide the fact that the interiors are low quality and there's no driver in there. But now we have fully rendered interiors with drivers in the cars and so forth. We don't know if actually the interiors are going to work, but we'll have to wait and see later. As you can see, he's jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Let me 1 second check something. Okay, not going for too long.
That was just a small example of the way we've redesigned the US cities.
By the way, I do have to say, the sky looks absolutely amazing. It looks very clear. The night sky looks very dark. It doesn't look like super bright or super dark. You can still see that it's blue. This is kind of like a dusk setting as well. Also, I noticed that there's actually subway stations now on the roads, which is a very nice little detail they added in. They didn't have to add this detail in, but it's nice to see that they've added in those kind of additions to the map.
More freedom for spontaneous challenges. In the Crew 2,
And you'll hear this new checkpoint sounds.
has been shaped and tweaked so that you can enjoy the very
And as you can see, they actually focus on making the roads as realistic as possible, because in the real New York City, they actually have these bike lanes on them with the green in the middle and the white stripes on the outside. They specifically put those there for bicyclists so that people driving their cars will be able to see what part of the road is for the bicycles and what part of the road is for them. Kind of a waste of paint, but at least it's keeping the bicyclists safe, hopefully.
best experience, whatever the vehicle or the discipline.
And as you can see, you heard the checkpoint sound now.
But before I tell you any more, I think Live Sportscast has something to tell you.
And now, Live goes to the extreme.
Now, I actually want to say real quick that this part of the trailer, this actually does happen in the game, but only in the prologue of the game. This doesn't actually happen, as far as I can tell, in actual free roam. Hopefully. But it does look cool, though. And another gameplay footage I actually saw this happen, and someone reacted to it.
Now the second part of the
And then the map going back.
is a powerboat race. You're piloting a DCB M.
And the interesting thing about this is there's actually different types of HUDs for each different types of vehicle. So you actually see there's actually a percentage marker up on top that's actually telling you how much throttle you're applying to the boat. So it ranges between 15 and 100%. 15% I'm pretty sure is idle in terms of throttle. And then there's also, again, the nitrous is separate, so the boats have nitrous. And the planes will also have nitrous as well, you'll see that. But the RPM indicator has actually been simplified for the boat because you don't really need it. And what you have instead is you actually have a kind of like speedometer telling you how close you are to getting to the top speed of the boat. And then you have the speedometer in the middle of the gauge as well. So yeah, and then again the GPS on the side.
Boats ever created. These little beasts are traditionally used to race offshore and in straight lines.
Now you saw there that other boats. Now that you saw there, you actually saw that boats' wakes will actually affect how your boat will handle. So waves will affect your boat's handling. Other boats, kind of like wakes, which is the things that come behind other boats, that will affect your boat's handling. Pretty much everything will affect the boat's handling. It'll be annoying, but it's realistic.
Right now, we're having it pretty easy, but you'll occasionally have to deal with 10-foot waves on offshore races. Not to mention the waves created by you and your competitors.
Yep, like I just said. As you can see, there's the interior of the boats. It looks very nice. There's kind of rudder controls with the boats.
With the good old Hudson River.
And you can do stunts. Because why not?
And as you can see, your next competitors are waiting for you to take
There's the
off.
planes. And of course you can run over these checkpoints, which you'll see in a few minutes.
At any time.
The player boat gets runs over the checkpoint border thing, and then it just basically acts like a ramp for the boat. As you can see, the boat got affected by the wake, so he had his handling messed up. And as you can see, the map is actually folding in on itself on the horizon, which is a pretty nice effect, I guess, but it's kind of weird. And now we got to go to the planes. So as you can see, the plane is backfire as well.
We are literally taking the challenge to new heights in this third and last part of our New York challenge.
Now here's one real quick thing I want to say with the HUD of the planes. The HUD of the planes again is different. It's got a similar style to the boats where it has a speedometer in the middle, the throttle percentage on top of the thing. There's also a thing around the edge of the speedometer that tells you how close you are to reaching the top speed of the plane. But there's also now a kind of gyroscope type mechanism in the middle, of the gauge, telling you how far you are from being level, how many degrees of rotation your plane's at, and there's also a physical one in the bottom that tells you a number. I'm pretty sure.
While some of our competitors are still having fun down there on the water, let's enjoy some new perspectives over Central Park. Now that you can fly across,
I actually don't know what that thing does. I can't really tell.
To allow you to see all the way up to the horizon. This is one of the many technical feats our team had to achieve in order to offer a game experience that would perfectly fit the new vehicle types.
Oh no, maybe that's actually telling you the distance you are from the ground. I don't know that for a fact what it does.
Potential for exploration even more. Here, you're embracing the city skyline. But now, imagine flying over the Rockies, buzzing the ground in the Grand Canyon, piercing the clouds, or just admiring the city nightlights from your cockpit.
Yeah, as you can see, the plane has nitrous as well. Every vehicle will have nitrous. This game just looks a heck of a lot of fun.
From the heart of New York City, this was the live Extreme Series Episode 1.
And then we have the ZL1 again, along with the GT3 RS.
To follow us on all social media.
So yeah, this game looks like a lot of fun actually.
Now let's take a look at our colossal
And we'll see that this part of the map is actually different, but I'll show that later. So here we actually see the different factions kind of with the game as well. So we have the Street Racing HQ, which will probably consist of the Street Spec cars and the Perf Spec cars. There's also the Pro Racing, which I assume that's going to be for Circuit Spec and probably boats. The Off-Road HQ, which will probably be for monster trucks, the dirt cars, and the raid cars. And then the Freestyle HQ, which will probably be for planes and maybe bikes. I don't know for a fact though. I don't know what all the different factions are based on in each category, but we'll have to wait and see in the beta of the game.
Around 4 motorsports families.
Families,
racing,
actually.
Pro racing, off-road, and freestyle. Each of them has its own culture, style, set of disciplines, and a place to meet. But the Crew 2 is also...
So there's, as far as you said, a place to meet. That probably means that there's going to be like meetups along the map for different types of aspects. For instance, it'll be like plane meetups, car meetups, boat meetups, monster truck meetups, and just so forth. It'll be pretty interesting to see that they're going to add that into the game, probably.
Also about freedom and exploration. Time to discover what this huge
so there's the
world
map.
has to offer.
As you can see, it just spawned in.
New York City, and we've joined some friends for a free flight session in co-op. Let me show you what this Zivco Edge 540 V3 has under the hood. This light plane is the star of many air races and aerobatic shows around the world, and right here in Motor Nation. That's another one of the Crew 2 innovations. Not only does it offer an incredible variety of disciplines, but each gameplay has its specificities and unique appeal. By the way, you can instantly switch between ground, water, and air vehicles with our brand.
So yeah, as you can see, you can switch between different kinds of vehicles. So if you're flying a plane and you're actually on top of a building, chances are you'll be able to switch to a vehicle and land on top of that building, which will be rather interesting. It'll probably be players driving around. They'll be wondering what vehicle you're in. They'll jump in the plane and then you'll see like you're in a car sitting on top of a building. And be like, how'd you do that? I'm like, oh, you switched to a vehicle.
New fast fave feature. This allows you to fully enjoy all the new perspectives the Crew 2 has to offer using only one button. From the top of buildings to the bustling city streets below.
So this game looks like a lot of fun. The boats and planes are not really my style of gameplay, but honestly, I think I could grow to like this with the game. It's not really the Crew per se, but it still looks cool.
That's what we call dynamic freestyle. Every stunt and feat achieved anywhere in the open world will contribute to your overall progression in the game.
So what he just said as well with this whole entire like stunt system, this is actually kind of like a permanent implementation of the free drive stunt system that we see in the Crew. So like with the Crew, you can activate free drive stunts and you're required to do a certain amount of stunts like wheelies on bikes and so forth. This is now a permanent implementation into the game. So you can do like barrel rolls, you can do formentations with planes, you can ride your boats in the river and you'll get points. You'll be gaining XP, which is kind of like a free drive, kind of like a stunt system in this game, a permanent stunt system.
Doing
which I guess is nice.
Tricks, car and bike stunts, or just speeding up on your boat. Literally anything.
Also, I would like to say, I'm going to pause right here really quick to show you this part of the map. This part of the map is a heck of a lot different compared to the cruise map. Over here where there's like this little amphitheater thing, that actually used to be where the garage of the cars used to be. So as you can see, that building there, the amphitheater next to the Eiffel Tower, that's kind of where the car dealership for the cars was at before, but now there's like some amphitheater there. And this is more like a park now. There actually used to be a main road right on the edge of the water in the crew, but now it's been converted to like a walkway for pedestrians to walk on and so forth. And again, there's that building there. So yeah, they've reworked a lot of stuff with this game in terms of the map.
Champion of Motor Nation. Now it's time to race in the great outdoors.
And then there's the buggy.
This is Rally Raid, an off-road discipline focus.
If we actually, hold on, let me go back real quick, because I actually noticed something.
This is Rally Raid, an off-road.
You can actually hear there's like a countdown system now, so that instead of like the whole entire thing where you start a mission and then there's a countdown thing that goes like 3, 2, 1, go. Instead now there's actually a person that says 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah, now there's actually a countdown system with this game, which is nice, I guess. Great to know that they have added a feature like that so that a person... Can't talk over this guy. There's basically now a person that counts down, goes 3, 2, 1, and then it just there's a sound that tells you to go, instead of just like a simple countdown system on the screen, which I guess is a nice little feature they added in.
The organizers at Live have added their 2 cents to the challenge by throwing in a few surprises. The Buggy A1 is a perfect choice for that challenge.
It's now called the Buggy A1. Interesting.
Unconventional look and easy handling.
Excuse me?
After all, Rally
Easy.
Raid is all about enjoying
Doesn't really look that easy.
to choose your path, to test the limits of your environment, and the pure fun to go full speed into
It
the
does look
wild.
like fun though, I'll give him that.
Now I'm excited to share with you how we'll be dominating the waterways in Jet Sprint. This will have you slaloming and jumping into swampy waters in tiny but highly responsive boats.
This looks like fun though, I'll
As
give
you
him
might have
that.
guessed, this gameplay is a bit more challenging than the ones I've been introducing so far. The contests usually take place in a lush and pretty
As you can see,
unpredictable
nitrous on
environment,
boats.
and it requires
Like I said before, there's
high-speed
nitrous on
mastery
boats,
as
planes,
well as
cars,
increased
etc.
abilities. This is one of the great things about having the whole USA.
And you can
as
actually still do
well.
track cuts with the boats, which
Every
is
terrain
interesting.
a perfect spot for specific disciplines, with its own ecosystem, road network, facilities, as well as some surprises.
So overall, I'm liking the look of this game.
I hope you've enjoyed this first sneak peek at the unique experience we'll be offering with the Crew 2. Remember, in this brand new world of non-stop competition and no-limit exploration, there's lots more for you to discover. See you again soon with new disciplines, new challenges, and new unexplored parts of Motor Nation.
Don't forget to sign up for beta access on thecrewgame.com/beta.
So yeah, I've already signed up for the beta. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give the video a like and stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.